There is a moment many of us experience, though we rarely speak about it openly. It's that quiet, unsettling feeling when everything seems fine on the outside, yet something feels deeply off within. You may have achieved what you once prayed for, surrounded yourself with people, filled your time with activity, yet when the noise fades, there's a strange emptiness that lingers. And the instinctive reaction is to label this as weakness or even failure, but that assumption is fundamentally flawed. What you're feeling is not a defect in your personality. It's not a sign that you're incapable of happiness. In fact, it's something far more significant. It is a signal, a wake-up call from within, a subtle but persistent reminder that something essential is missing. And that something is not more success, not more entertainment, not more validation from others. It is a spiritual disconnection. The human being, by design, is not just a physical entity. There is a soul within us that has needs just as real as hunger and thirst. But unlike the body, the soul doesn't respond to material input. You can feed the body endlessly, stimulate the mind constantly, and still leave the soul starving. And when the soul is deprived, it doesn't scream, it whispers. It creates this quiet emptiness, this sense of restlessness, this lack of fulfillment that no worldly achievement can fully erase. This is why people who have it all still feel lost, because deep down the heart recognizes what it was created for. And when it is disconnected from that purpose, it begins to feel out of place. That emptiness you feel is not there to break you, it's there to guide you. It's pointing you toward a truth that we often ignore in the rush of daily life, that your heart was never meant to be sustained by dunya alone. And here's where many people go wrong. Instead of listening to that signal, they try to suppress it. They distract themselves more, consume more, chase more. They think if they just fill their time enough, the feeling will disappear. But the more you try to silence it with temporary solutions, the louder it becomes, because it's not asking to be ignored, it's asking to be understood. From an Islamic perspective, this makes perfect sense. The Arabic, Alif Arabic, Lam Arabic, Alf Arabic, Lam Arabic, Ba, the heart, finds its stability only when it is anchored to its creator. When that anchor is missing, the heart drifts. And that drifting is what you feel as emptiness. It's not random. It's deeply purposeful. Think about it. If you never felt this emptiness, you might never question your direction. You might remain satisfied with a life that is spiritually hollow. In a way, this feeling is a mercy. It disrupts your comfort just enough to make you reflect. It forces you to ask deeper questions. Why do I feel this way? What am I missing? Where am I going? And those questions, if you follow them honestly, will always lead you back to Allah. So instead of resenting this emptiness, reconsider your perspective. See it as an invitation rather than a burden. It is your soul calling you back to what it has been deprived of. It is your fitra reminding you of its original purpose. The real tragedy is not that the heart feels empty. The real tragedy is ignoring what that emptiness is trying to tell you. Because sometimes the very thing you're trying to escape is actually the path that leads you home. If you reflect honestly on your own life, you'll notice a pattern that repeats itself more often than we care to admit. There is always something we are chasing. At one stage, it's success, education, career, financial stability. Then it becomes recognition, respect, a sense of being valued by others, and sometimes it's more subtle comfort, entertainment, moments of pleasure that give us temporary relief from stress. We convince ourselves, often quite sincerely, that once we attain these things, we will finally feel at ease. But what actually happens, you reach a goal you once thought would change everything, and for a brief moment, it does. There is a sense of excitement, even satisfaction, but it doesn't last. Very quickly, that feeling fades, and you find yourself searching again. It's not that the achievement was meaningless. It's that it was never designed to fulfill you in a lasting way. And this is where a deeper misunderstanding lies. The dunya, by its very nature, is temporary. Everything about it is in a constant state of change. Your circumstances, your emotions, even your sense of identity. So when you rely on something unstable to create a stable sense of inner peace, you are setting yourself up for disappointment. It's not a failure of effort, it's a mismatch of expectations. You are asking something finite to satisfy something within you that is not finite. The human heart has a depth that cannot be measured by material standards. It was created with the capacity to seek meaning, not just experience. And meaning is not something you can purchase, achieve, or manufacture through external means. It is something that emerges when your life is aligned with a higher purpose. Without that alignment, even the best of worldly experiences begin to feel hollow over time. This is why people often feel a sense of emptiness even when life appears to be going well. It's not ingratitude, it's not a lack of appreciation, it's a deeper realization, sometimes unconscious, that what they have attained is not addressing what they truly need. And instead of recognizing this, we often double down. We think perhaps we just haven't reached the right level yet. So we chase more, thinking the next milestone will finally bring the peace we're looking for. But the reality is, the heart does not operate on the logic of accumulation. It operates on the logic of connection, and when that connection is missing, when there is no consistent relationship with Allah, everything else begins to feel fragmented. You may have moments of happiness, but they are not anchored. They come and go, leaving you in a cycle of temporary highs and inevitable lows. From a spiritual perspective, this is not surprising. The Arabic, Alif Arabic, Lam Arabic, Alf Arabic, Lam Arabic, Ba was never meant to be filled by the dunya. It can enjoy it, benefit from it, even find moments of joy within it, but it cannot depend on it for fulfillment. That role belongs to something far greater, and when we try to substitute that with worldly pursuits, we are essentially placing a burden on the dunya that it was never meant to carry. So the issue is not that success is wrong or that enjoyment is forbidden. The issue is where you place your expectations. If you expect the dunya to complete you, it will always disappoint you. But if you understand its limits, you begin to interact with it differently. You appreciate it without relying on it, you engage with it without being consumed by it, and this shift in perspective changes everything. Because now, when you feel that emptiness, you no longer interpret it as a failure of the world to satisfy you. You recognize it as a reminder that your heart is searching for something higher, and once you understand that, the direction becomes clear. Because the heart will never find what it is looking for in what was never meant to fulfill it. There is a subtle but powerful barrier that prevents many people from taking the very step they know they need to take. It's not a lack of belief, it's not even a lack of awareness, it's the feeling of unworthiness, the quiet assumption that I've gone too far, or I'm not good enough. Or when I fix myself, then I'll turn back to Allah. And on the surface, that logic feels reasonable. But in reality, it is one of the most effective deceptions a person can fall into, because it fundamentally misunderstands the nature of the relationship between Arabic, Alif Arabic, Lam Arabic, Alif Tat Hams, Arabic, Noon Arabic, Sin Arabic, Alif Arabic, Noon, and Allah. We often approach Arabic, Alif Arabic, Lam Arabic, Dal Arabic, Yet Arabic, Noon with a transactional mindset. We think in terms of deserving and earning, as if our return to Allah must be preceded by some level of personal perfection. So we delay, we tell ourselves we need to clean up our lives first, fix our habits, become more disciplined, more consistent, and then once we are worthy, we will reconnect. But this reverses the entire process. You don't return to Allah because you are perfect. You return to Allah because you are not. And that distinction changes everything. The concept of Arabic, ta Arabic, wow Arabic, ba Arabic tet, ma'bud in Islam is not simply about correcting mistakes. It is about reorienting the heart. It is about recognizing that no matter how far you've drifted, the path back has never been closed. In fact, the very awareness of your distance is itself a sign that the connection is not lost. If your heart feels something, regret, emptiness, even confusion, that is already a form of guidance. And yet, many people hesitate at this exact point. They think their sins have somehow placed them outside the possibility of return. But consider the implication of that belief. It assumes that your shortcomings are greater than Allah's mercy. It places a limit on something that, by definition, has no limit. From a psychological perspective, this hesitation often stems from shame. And shame, if left unchecked, does not lead to transformation, it leads to avoidance. It convinces you that facing the problem will only confirm your worst fears about yourself. So, instead, you delay the very action that would begin to heal you. But Islam does not ask you to approach Allah with a flawless record. It asks you to approach Him with sincerity, even if that sincerity is fragile, even if it's inconsistent. Even if it comes after repeated mistakes, the act of turning back is not invalidated by how many times you've turned away before. In fact, the process of returning again and again is itself part of the journey. It builds humility. It develops self-awareness. It shifts your focus from performance to connection. And over time, that connection begins to reshape your behavior in ways that willpower alone never could. So, the idea that you must fix yourself before you return is not just incorrect, it is counterproductive, because it removes you from the very source of strength you need in order to change. You are trying to solve a spiritual problem without engaging the spiritual solution. The reality is much simpler and much more profound. You begin where you are, not where you wish you were. Not where others expect you to be, exactly where you are with all your imperfections, all your inconsistencies, all your doubts. And you take one step back. That step might be small, it might feel insignificant, but it is not, because in that moment you are doing something deeply transformative. You are breaking the illusion that you need to be perfect to be accepted. You are acknowledging your need for Allah, and that acknowledgement is the foundation of every meaningful change that follows. So don't wait for a version of yourself that may never come. Don't postpone your return in the name of preparation. Because the door you think you need to earn your way into was never closed to begin with. Once a person begins to understand that the emptiness within is not random, and that the Arabic, Alif Arabic, Lam Arabic, Dal Arabic, Noon Arabic, yet Arabic Alif was never meant to fill it, and that returning to Allah does not require perfection, only sincerity, then a natural question emerges: what actually changes when you do return? What does it mean in real terms to rebuild a relationship with Allah? And how does that translate into the peace we are all searching for? Because at this point, we're no longer speaking about theory, we're speaking about transformation. The first thing to understand is that true peace is not the absence of problems. It is the presence of stability despite them. Your circumstances may not change overnight. Your challenges may still exist. But something internal begins to shift. The Arabic, Alif Arabic, Lam Arabic, Alf Arabic, Lam Arabic, Ba, which once felt scattered and restless, begins to find a center. And that center is your connection with Allah. This is why acts like Salah, Di, Hikr, and Da are not Arabic, Mim Arabic, Jim Arabic, Rot Arabic, Dal rituals to be performed. They are mechanisms of realignment. When you stand in prayer, especially with presence and awareness, you are doing more than fulfilling an obligation. You are interrupting the chaos of your day and reorienting your heart towards something Arabic, that Arabic, Lif Arabic, Ba Arabic Ta, something unchanging. 5 times a day, you are reminded that no matter what is happening around you, there is a higher reality that grounds you. And over time, this consistency begins to have a cumulative effect. You may not notice it immediately, just as you don't notice the subtle changes in your body from day to day. But gradually, the Arabic, Noon Arabic, Va Arabic scene becomes calmer. The constant anxiety, the overthinking, the emotional volatility, they don't disappear entirely, but they lose their Arabic, Lif Arabic, Lam Arabic, Scene Arabic, Yet Arabic, Hot Arabic, Rot Arabic, Tetma, Boot, over you. You begin to respond rather than react. You begin to see things with clarity rather than confusion. Dhikr, in particular, plays a profound role here, because remembrance is not just about repetition, it is about Arabic, Het Arabic, Daida Arabic, Wow Arabic, Rot. It is about bringing Allah into your awareness in moments where you would otherwise feel alone, overwhelmed, or lost. And when that awareness becomes frequent, it reshapes how you interpret your experiences. Difficulties are no longer just burdens, they become tests with purpose. Delays are no longer just frustrations, they become part of a larger wisdom you may not yet see. And then there is Da, the most personal dimension of this relationship. Because in Da, you are not performing, you are not trying to meet a standard, you are speaking honestly and directly to the one who already knows you better than you know yourself. And there is something deeply healing about that level of openness, to express your fears, your regrets, your hopes without filtering, without pretense. This is where the Arabic, Af Arabic, Lam Arabic, Ba begins to soften. This is where the emptiness that once felt heavy starts to transform. Not because your life has become perfect, but because your perspective has become anchored. You are no longer searching for fulfillment in places that cannot provide it. You are connected to the source that was always meant to sustain you, and perhaps one of the most important outcomes of this relationship is purpose. Because when you are connected to Allah, your life is no longer a series of disconnected experiences. It becomes a journey with direction. Your actions gain meaning, your struggles gain context, even your setbacks become part of your growth. So, the peace that emerges from this is not superficial. It is not dependent on everything going your way. It is deeper than that. It is the quiet confidence that no matter what happens, you are not alone, and you are not without guidance. And once you experience that, even briefly, you begin to realize something profound. The emptiness you once feared was not the end of something, it was the beginning of something far greater. Because real peace does not come from changing your life, it comes from changing what your heart is connected to.